Hey folks, welcome to a new MasterThatRiff. I know it's been a long time coming, so apologies for that. But in this lesson we're going to be looking at Cannonball by Damien Rice. Now the actual recorded version of Cannonball has kind of overdubbed guitar parts. So what I'm going to do is look at pretty much the way that Damien Rice plays it live, or has played it live. I used a kind of reference video of him playing it, and I've gone through and basically transcribed what he was playing, and that gives you pretty much, you know, how he performs it live. So if you need to do this on solo guitar, or you just want to play along with the song, it'll all work nicely together. The first thing, we're in standard tuning, but we need to capo, or capo, for my American friends, at the 6th fret here. Yeah. So this is one of these acoustic pieces where you can hear this little melodic phrase going through, but it's kind of strummed. So it's this this technique of basically strumming basically lots of strings, but you're still targeting particular melody notes in the strings. So what I'll do to break this down is we'll look at how the kind of melody notes are, and then talk about kind of the rhythm that you would strum it. Then you can combine the two. So the first little phrase is like that. Now what I'm doing here is basically this all kind of E minor stuff here. And the first little shape I'm going to be playing. So if we take, I know this is a capo at the 6th fret, but I'm going to consider that 0 now, so our guitar's that size. So this is you know, open E string. I'm going to be putting my first finger at the 2nd fret of the A string here. And then my 4th finger is going to go to the 5th fret of the D string. Yeah. So there's a little kind of a minor inversion thing going on here. Now, the melody note is that 5th fret of the D string there, and it kind of goes. So you have this. Yeah, so it's going to do 5, then 4. And then you have this 0, 2, 0, okay? But of course there's little other strings being combined with the melody note. So what we actually have is this kind of shape. These two strings here, the 2 on the A string and the 5 on the D string. And I play 4. Now Damien Rice actually shifts his 4th finger back. And when I did the demo performance of it, that's how I played it. If I was actually playing this, I'd probably use my 3rd finger, just to remove that little kind of string squeak, you know. But I'll play it as I've got it in the transcription there. So you basically do this 4, move it to the 4th fret of the A string there. Then we have this little hammer here. So I'm going to play. It's very, very subtle, but I'm going to take my 2nd finger and hammer from the 2nd to the 3rd fret there in that A string. So you have that kind of thing going on, and as you do that, lift up your 1st fingers. Then that's going to play your on the D string, that melody note there. But notice I keep my middle finger on the 3rd fret there. So that little bit, if I slow it down, kind of goes like this. 4, that little bit there, and then you're okay. Now strumming wise, obviously you've got this kind of down strum on the first kind of, it's like a little E power chord on the way, because you've got the open E string and then the 2nd fret of the A string. This next beat is all 16, so it's like a down up down up, but the way he accents it is you've got an accent on the up, so it's like a 2E and you're doing an accent on the E, so it kind of goes 2 like that. And these little bits here, these are all down with done with little down strum movements with the thumb. So this bit here, down with the thumb, and then thumb. And that open D string you would play with a down on the thumb as well. So if I play that slowly, it goes like this. Yeah. So when you're doing this and you're thinking of this kind of strummy style when you're playing this, think of kind of being quite free with the right hand. You know, so you might hit other strings and things there. It's not an exact way of playing where you have to hit like a must strum up to the B string, open, all that sort of string stuff. Think of it more as the kind of the feel of the strumming. So the rhythm for that first bar is you basically got a quarter note, then 4/16. Then you've got basically an eighth, 2/16, 2/16, and an eighth. So that's a down, down, up, down, up, down. So the rhythm for the first bar is like that. Like that. That's the kind of vibe that you want for it. Yeah. In the next bar, we've got a little kind of melodic phrase that does this. So what I'm playing there is I'm doing like a hammer on 0 to 3 in the E string. Then I'm going to do a hammer on 0 to 2 in the A string. Notice I'm all doing this with the thumb, like a down thumb. Then I'm going to do a hammer 2 to 3. Then I'm going to pluck and slide 3 to 5 with the second finger still. And then I'm going to do a hammer 0 to 4 on the D string. Yeah, so that's your kind of little ascending line there. Yeah, that's what we're playing. But what we've got is after, rhythmically we've got kind of after this hammer, we've got kind of open strings, so it's kind of like a G chord in a way. So what you're doing here is you've got the same 16th kind of strum feel going. So you've got your hammer, down up with the strum, and then your 0-2. But because that happens on the and of that beat, you kind of combine it together, so it kind of goes like this. Again, a little down up strum there, and then 0-4, and then at the very end I've got another. Yeah, so you've kind of got this. In a way, it's like an eighth and 2/16 all the time, so it's kind of like a dit, 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 dit. Yeah, so that's that bar together. So if I put that together with the first bar, this is what we have, nice and slow. Okay. Next two bars are pretty much the same. It's just that at the very beginning we do a hammer on to our second fret here. And there's a little bit more extra kind of strumming there. Again, you don't have to worry about being 200% accurate with that. It's more the kind of rhythmical feel of it. So the next bar sounds like this. Okay. So what we have is our little melodic phrase here. Again, we've got this hammer on. Then we have this bit that goes. Yeah. So I've got this, second fret of the A string, but this little melodic thing I'm playing here is 4th fret of the G string. Got 4 of them. Then it does 5, 4, then open G string, open D string. Okay. Again, Damien Rice uses his 4th finger when he plays this bit. Shifts it up and shifts it back. Yeah. Now, when you're playing this bit here, particularly the 5, 4, 0, 0, you're going to be playing this all with your thumb downstrokes. Now, because of the strummy nature of it, so you're kind of strumming and playing this, what you might find easier, rather than switching from strumming and this very precise kind of like rest strokes or whatever with your thumb, think about keeping it more of a strumming motion. So what you might feel is like you fixed the thumb, not like your whole hand is now like set in stone. You want to still be relaxed when you're doing this, but your thumb's fixed and you're moving it more from your elbows if you're strumming. Now what you might find is that's hard to be accurate with it, but in the grand scheme of things it doesn't really matter, because you're still going to hear the melody note pop out like that. Okay, and of course before it, strumming wise, we do the hammer on 0 to 2, a little down up, the open strings there. Then when I play this 4, 4, 4, 4, I'm actually playing this chord shape. So I'm forming an octave with my 1st and 4th finger. I've got my down up on that, and as usual you've probably got a little bit more of an accent on the 1st up, like that. Yeah. Next little bar sounds like this. pretty much the same as before, but it's just when we do our little hammer on, instead of doing 0, 3, I do the 0 to 2 as well on the A string. Yeah, so it's just a slight variation. It's not really changed the melodic phrase anymore. The melodic phrase is still that. Now the next bar we have this kind of strumming on an A minor 7 chord. It sounds like this. Yeah. I take that bit. So the A minor 7 chord, I'm playing 2nd fret of the D string with the 2nd finger, and my 1st finger is playing 1st fret of that B string. So I've got this nice A minor 7 chord. But what we're actually going to be doing is a little hammer and pull off melodic idea on the B string. So if I take that in isolation, this is what it's going to do. It's going to do 0 to 1 hammer. That little phrase there. So I'm going to do like a hammer on 0 to 1. Play 1 again. Pull off. Open B string. And then hammer on again. Yeah, so it's... Now the reason I'm breaking it down like that, if you think of that melodic phrase, try and just replicate that with your strumming, rather than thinking of the kind of the detail of it. If you do look at the detail on it, what you're doing, I guess, when you do the hammer on, you're doing like a down strum. Then when you do the pull off, you're doing like an up strum, like that. Then you've got another up strum on the open B string effectively with this chord, and then the hammer on down is done with the down strum. That's what it sounds like. Yeah. But think of the melody, and that will probably drive your playing, you know, to replicate the sound. So once we've done that little bit, want to have another little kind of down up on the A minor 7 chord, and then we've got this little sequence towards the end. It sounds like this. Okay, so what I'm doing here from the A minor 7, I'm going to take the 2nd finger off. I'm going to hammer on 0 to 2 in the A string, and then I strum basically the rest of the strings, pretty much the G, D, the D, G, and B strings there. Then I'm going to hammer on 2nd to 3rd finger, 2 to 3rd fret on the A string. Again, I'm doing these little hammer-ons with the thumb. Yeah, again, I've got a little down up strum there. Keeping the 3rd finger on, I'm now going to hammer 0 to 2 in the D string with the 2nd finger to form that C major chord. Yeah. And then what I do, once I do that hammer, I do the hammer and then slide up 2 frets on the up strum, and then another up down in that. So it kind of goes and then I've got a little strum of that, just a little up before some 0 0 0, which is the classic too much information transcription thing of it's just the rhythm hand keeps going, but I'm now transitioning back to the start. Yeah. So if I play that last bit going back into the start of the riff from the A minor 7, this is what it sounds like. Yeah, okay. So that's it. It's one of these pieces of music, when you look at the actual transcription, it looks busier and more complex than it is. Think in terms of what the melodic little lines are doing. If you concentrate in them, that is what's going to pop out from basically this kind of strumming kind of technique. What you're doing with the strumming is just providing that rhythmical textural background behind that little melody. So when you're playing it and learning it, think of that as your kind of priority, and everything else should hopefully kind of fall into place with it. Rather than trying to think precisely, I'm strumming this chord and then this note and all that type of thing. This should just be kind of playing that rhythm. Think of the rhythm of the song. you know, that will just go away and kind of autopilot. So have fun with that. I've got some more riffs in the pipeline, so I'm hopefully going to get back to get kind of regular posting, a bit more momentum, hopefully. So as usual, if you're not subscribed and you want to see more riffs or some gear demos or other lessons, lick lessons, blah blah blah, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you've got any ideas for riffs or things you'd like to see, please comment below, let us know, send us a message, whatever. Be sure to check out Massive Guitar on Facebook as well. It's on Twitter and of course Instagram, which has got kind of some random pics and some other lesson type stuff up there as well. So have fun with that, and until next time, happy strumming.